Hello everyone, this video is all about answering your questions you've asked on some of my previous videos. So without any further ado, let's get started. Our first question is from Zormax. Great info. What would a good program be for a field where my mate found a nice big silver coin and me trying to see if there's any more? Well, I take it you're using the Deus 2. If you're using the Deus 2, you need to start looking at the slightly lower frequency bands, and that's park or the relic mode. So you might need to tweak the park a little bit. What I'd personally do, depending on your land, is lower the silencer, take off the notch, take off the bottle cap reject, and go into tones. And on your third tone, tone number 3, I'd raise that up to 881, so those big silver coins give a nice sweet sound. And also it's worth using the relic mode because that again uses the lower frequencies, so it's probably going to hit good on that deep silver coin. The next one's from Colin. He writes, out with it for the first time today. First, even with the handbook I could not find any way to find the XY screen. Well, that's in your manual, page 29. You go into options, settings, and then profile, hit the plus and minus buttons to select your profile. You've got the horseshoe, the XY screen, and the big numbers. Now this is from Matthew. Excellent video as always, Gary. I'm looking forward to getting the Deus 2 soon. I've got a question. I'm still using my Deus 1. Is there anything I can do to eliminate interference from electric fences? Well, sadly not. I don't think any metal detector will eliminate EMI from electric fences because it's a certain sort of pulse and you just can't get rid of it, I'm afraid. Here's a question from Lewis, who's using the D2. Hi Gary, thank you for the good info as always. Here's a question. When customizing a factory program, can you add, delete single frequencies? Well, no you can't, because with the FMF the frequencies are set into bands, and that's why you choose different programs, because they use different frequency bands. So no, you can't add or delete single frequencies. All you can do is really change program to a different band. Brian, question from Brian. Hi Gary, I truly believe that the videos you do make the XP metal detector is the best purchase decision. Thank you, Brian. When I hunt with my friend who uses a Nox in multi-frequency, he blows our ears off. Is there another way to handle this situation other than me switching to the Deus Mono or accidentally stepping on his coil? I like the FMF and I want to keep it. Now, if you're getting interference from another detector, especially the Equinox, you guys have got to work together. Now with the Deus 2, you've got a noise cancel, so press your noise cancel, press and hold the GB button in, and that does an automatic noise cancel. If you're still having problems, you need to ask your friend to just go into his frequency shift and just move it up or down a couple of notches. There is a quiet solution. I've worked next to Noxes on several occasions and we've not had a problem. So just work together on that one and you will find a solution. This is a question from Jason. Here we go. I have the Deus 2 and I love everything about it. I hunt a lot of cellar holes and have been using sensitive full tone. There is a ton of iron there and I just wondered, does sweep speed matter, or should I turn up the reactivity, or should I try a different program? Well, sensitive full tone is a really good program for searching in amongst iron. I think you've made a good choice there. Regarding reactivity versus sweep speed, I think with the Deus 2 you can slow your sweep down as long as you match it to the reactivity. But if there's lots of iron, I'd definitely turn the reactivity up and just find that sweet spot when it comes to sweep technique. And now with the latest Deus update, they've combined the bottle cap reject with another feature. It's also a misshaped iron reject. It's not just for bottle caps. So when you're in the field and you've got a lot of big iron, have a go with the bottle cap reject and see how you get on. And here we have a question from Coinmaster North Wales. Great video once again, Gary, and well explained. Thank you, sir. can I ask, when the FMF displays the highest frequency, it goes on a particular program. Why doesn't it say which frequencies it uses beneath the highest frequency, if that makes sense? Well, yes, I fully understand what you're saying there, but it's kind of an industry standard when it comes to multi-frequency metal detectors that manufacturers tend not to give all the information away. So we're just going to have to sort of stick with the information they give us. Here's one from Darius. Hi Gary, do you have an opinion on the Nocta Simplex? Well, yes I do. I think it's a fantastically priced machine. For an entry-level machine, I don't think you'll do much better at £275. So if you're looking for a Nocta Simplex, go and see the guys over at Leisure Promotion. Here's one from Michael. Any chance of Deus developing a 6 or 7 inch coil for the Deus and the Deus 2? I hunt parks, sidewalks, wooded areas and home sites that are grown up here in the US, and a smaller coil would be most beneficial. I hear what you're saying, Michael, and it's a good idea, but I think at the moment XP aren't developing a smaller coil as far as I know, so maybe something in the future, it'll be good. This is from the Tassie Treasure Hunters. Hi Gary, thank you for this video. I just took my Deus 2 into an old church site. The soil is rich volcanic red soil with high mineralisation. I ran the sensitive program with a slight altercation to the sensitivity and reactivity, which seemed to work well. Pulled lots of iron out of the ground but didn't find anything else. I'm wondering if a different program might be the way to go. Well, perhaps sensitive full tones would be worth looking at and just make some tweaks from there. And don't be frightened to use that silencer and bottle cap reject if you've got a lot of big iron. As I said in an earlier answer, these are all features what are being developed on the Deus 2. So these features on the Deus 2, say version 2, are now different in the version 7. So just have a little play around with them. Sensitive full tone I think is probably your best choice if you're searching in amongst iron. Right, let's have a look at Robert's question. Hi Gary, I've been using the Deus 1 for a couple of years and I've had some great finds with it. Bought the Deus 2 for the multi-frequency and the ability to use in the wet weather without killing the control unit. Not over keen on the covers. I've tried to pair the elliptical HF coil to the 2 but with no success. Tried manual input in the auto, no mention in the manual. This is possible or not? Please keep up the good works, very informative videos. Well Robert, sadly the Deus 1 coils are not compatible with the Deus 2. They're running on 2 completely different platforms, so sorry about that, it's just not going to work my friend. Here's one from Stuart. I had someone ask me whether the threshold is a true threshold or just a reference point. I wasn't sure of the answer. Well Stuart, I've got some good news for you. The threshold was just a reference point, but in version 0.7 XP have changed the threshold to a true threshold. Now this means if we're using the threshold in one of the programs which uses Pitch Audio, Goldfield or the Relic program, when you go over a rejected target, the threshold will dip out and come back after you've passed over it. So it is now an active threshold. Okay, let's go to Caswick. Hi Gary, question about the notch and the discrimination. Does using these features affect depth? I hear with multi-frequency machines they do not. Thank you, and thank you for all your helpful videos. Deep digs from the TreasureNet forums. Well, personally, I don't think discrimination affects depth too much, but what I do think, it affects the quality of the deep target. So if you're using too much discrimination, a deep target may sound clipped or a little bit irony. So don't fall into the trap of just running the discrimination high unless you're searching for shallow targets. Personally, I like to run the machine as raw as possible. Give it a try, bury some deep targets, see how you get on. Right, Jason 55. I love hunting in full tones with zero discrimination. Well done. My question is, If while using the different programs in full tone and zero on discrimination make the factory programs perform identical to one another, does this change the machine's performance? Well, that's an interesting one, Jason, because each factory program uses a slightly different tweak, slightly different filtering, different platforms. So theoretically, if you made exactly the same program in each factory program, for example full tones with zero discrimination, yes, I think they will perform differently, and that's something I'm going to try in the future. Good question, sir. NK, do you suggest picking a tone you like and sticking with it? For example, stick to 5 tones or pitch and always hunting that? Well, I do, because the best detector is the detector you're the most comfortable with, and because it's an audio interface really, isn't it, we're relying on tones to tell us what to dig and what not to dig. I think if you find a tone there which suits your ears, you're on to a winner. So by all means, find a tone what you like and stick to it. Okay, now it's time for a bit of a giveaway. Have a look to see what I've got here. Now this is from a British company called Gemina, and they are making these lovely pendants, and this one is a big Roman coin. It's probably the size of a Dupondus, and it's made out of copper. And they also do hallmark silver coins like this. Now the beauty of this coin is it's got the Roman emperor on one side with the headphones, and on the other side it's got an XP Deus search coil. So these pendants are really quite unique. You can use them as key rings as well, which I do. Now the dies from these pendants are all hand carved, so no two are going to be the same. There's going to be a slight difference in every single one. Now the emperor you can see there wearing the headphones is the Emperor Galba. Now I'm going to give this away to one of you lucky guys. Now all I want you to do is subscribe to this channel and post in the comments the new emperor's name. So what cool name would you give this emperor? Now bearing in mind he's wearing headphones on one side and we've got the XP Deus search coil on the other. So put a little bit of thought into this, and the best emperor name in the comments will get this wonderful pendant from Gemina UK. Gemina is a reasonably new UK company and they do some fantastic products. Just take a look at their website, and they love us detectorists, so try and support them in any way you can. So let's get back to these questions. We've only got a couple left and then it's time to wrap it up. From Kelly: I added your sonar program and tried it out today for the first time. It rocked. I was so pleased with it. The first good target I dug was a saloon token from 1908 that's worth between $150 and $500. Thank you for sharing the program, Gary. You're more than welcome, Kelly. Now the sonar program is really the way to go in my opinion with the Deus. It gives you so much information and it's just nice to use. It keeps you on your toes. You have a conversation, you have a relationship with the machine, and it's brilliant. From One Man's Thought: Gary, love your vids and easy of understanding. Question for us in the USA and our coins: how would the sonar be changed for the US? Keep the good vids coming. Now the sonar program runs off 3 tones. Obviously tone 1 and 2 are for the iron, so the third tone is just for your clear positive target. Now if you wanted to change it for US coins, you need to introduce another tone. 4 tones. So set your baseline on 4 tones, 202, 202. Your mid tone can be whatever you want, 510, something like that, and your 4th tone could be 881. And then just make sure you adjust those tone breaks so your big silver or your wanted targets come in that last tone break, the high tone. I can do a video on it, so if you can give me some numbers where you want the tone breaks to come in at, I'll make a little program and post a video up. And here's one from Ted: it looks like you're scanning about 50% of the ground you were walking over. Is there a reason for this? Yes, I'm a shite detectorist and I don't know what I'm doing. Philip: what did we ever do without you years ago before social media? Cheers, love the videos. What did we do before social media? I guess we had lives, didn't we?